What's up everyone and welcome back here at the Neon Pavilion. My name is Niklas and I don't think I need to tell you this, but National Final season is in full swing. So many great songs coming out at the moment. It's hard to keep track of them all, but you know, the Eurofans, they know what to do. Now today is a super exciting day here on the channel. Today I'm bringing you the first official Neon Pavilion National Final interview. A few days ago I had the chance of sitting down and talking to RAUM, who is taking part in Supernova this year over in Latvia, the Latvian pre-selection. He had a lot of really interesting things to say about his music, his musical upbringing, and his song Fake Love, which talks about toxic relationships and how to avoid them. It was such a great time chatting with him the other day, and you can take a look at how it went right here. Thanks so much for joining me here on the show today. How are the preparations going for Supernova so far?
Well, very cool. I'm pretty zen about it. This is my second year competing. Last year I was way more worried at this point about how things are going to look, how we're going to do. But this year I've kind of not laid these like barriers in front of myself, and I'm taking it a little bit more easy. I'm super confident about the performance, like singing wise. And I've seen the visuals that are being prepared, and yeah, I like it. It's been a breeze so far, to be honest with you. The most stressful thing has been picking out the outfit, to be honest.
That's fair. Well, that sounds really nice. I'm happy to hear that it's going well. So let us start off by talking a little bit about your song "Fake Love." What was like the initial inspiration behind the song?
The initial inspiration was I knew I wanted to do toxic relationship stuff. That's my like favorite subject to write about, to be honest, because I grew up on like a lot of emo punk rock stuff, and that's kind of my go-to thing to do. And I think Supernova and all these types of shows is where you do what you're really good at, instead of maybe trying out something experimental. Yeah, the song is actually kind of a continuation of last year's song. If you know Plans,
Yeah.
Plans was about the beginning of the relationship, like this courting and stuff, like you don't know where it's gonna go. And Fake Love is like the other bookmark, the bookend of this tale. It's about the end of a toxic relationship.
We had drinks on Friday, Sunday, Saturday, kiss goodnight, and bed goes on Sunday. Can I be your plans for the weekend? Can I be your plans?
It's not an exact one-to-one inspiration from my life. I'm pretty happy, but yeah, that's where it came from.
Okay, but it's something you like to write about. Do you think that it's an important topic as well to sing about, to tell people how to, you know, not get treated badly and all these kinds of things?
Exactly, and it doesn't. I always write my songs. I try to write them with layers of symbolism, and it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Like if it's toxic, it can be a work relationship. It can be a friend's relationship. It's yes, the song is kind of like a reminder to identify and get out of those situations if you can. And it's not easy, because they're toxic for a reason. You have that bait for why you're there, and getting out is not as easy as one might think. So yeah, the song's actually like about that, like how hard it is to get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people can really relate to that. You mentioned there that it's kind of like a continuation of the song that you sang last year. So did you have Supernova in mind when you started working on this show, working on this song? Was it something you wanted to, you know, tell this continuation of this story on the show?
Yes and no. Musically, there was no imperative to like do any kind of format. So this time around, I've actually, in my non-Supernova music that's in Latvia, and I've also gone a little bit heavier still like radio, trying to respect radio boundaries, but gone a little heavier. And in that sense, no, it wasn't specifically for Supernova, but all my other stuff is in Latvian. So in that sense, yes, we sat down to write a song in English for Supernova. And but the connection actually came quite accidentally. I just realized at one point that, hey, this could be a continuation of that. So I'm saying it is.
Yeah.
And I'm the author, so what I say goes.
That's the thing, right? You know, and you can always build it on to make it make sense.
Yeah.
So are we gonna see some things in the staging as well that's kind of going to like show that it's a little bit of a continuation from last year?
Not in staging, to be honest, but there's a callback in the lyrics of the first verse, like you said you're in town for the weekend, and that's a direct direct callback to that. So yeah, not in staging. We're doing everything a little bit different this year, and really, I don't want to give too much away, but the performance is going to be very like color coded. Like when parts of a song change, like the color and mood will also change, and I really dig that.
That sounds really interesting. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. You've already mentioned it a little bit that you're definitely taking it a little bit more chill this year, but are there any other lessons that you feel like you can take away from your participation last year where you managed to reach the final?
Well, performance is king in that. What I mean, like the singing part needs to be tip top. That's what I like. Like I knew it, but I like solidified that knowledge last year. And yeah, taking it like easier is a little bit better for my mental health also. So I think that will also help the performance, that you're not ultra stressed out at the time of the actual performance. Because last year we came in like with the producers guns blazing, like we want this and that and moving walls and stuff like that, and at each point, either due to like some just physical limitations on the stage or in staffing from Supernova, or just from like how much that stuff costs, we like got the feeling that okay, that we're taking away this, they're taking away that, and we came in with like a 3-story mansion and ended up with a 1.5 room studio apartment. But this time we're like coming in with just with a very good idea of the core nucleus that we want for the performance, focusing on visuals, on a good performance, and then we're just looking what we can add to it to make it pop more on the screen.
Okay.
So and that's way more healthy for me.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you also feel a little bit more comfortable now with this performance. So you can focus more on yourself, focus more on your singing and connecting with the audience.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. I actually I don't know why they did it this year, but again, this is going to be an audience-less performance in the studio. So just for the cameras. I always love when it's with an actual audience in the room, because you can like connect to them, and even though, to be honest, the studio audience is like secondary, you're still like playing with the camera more, but it just gives off an energy. And the people that will be on the stage, my band, Nelly and Davis, they're also we also play together when I play these songs live, which is my absolute favorite thing to do. We've actually played Fake Love like a real live version, and it's honestly kicks ass. It's super powerful. I love to perform it.
I wanna learn a little bit more about you and your music. Let's try to start off from the beginning. What made you want to get into music at first?
My first, I guess, performance experience was, to be honest, in a children's church choir. My grandmother was very religious, still is, and she but my parents aren't, and she kind of, when I was little, like I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, like took me with her to church, and then one time there was this like visiting choir in mass, and they were really good. And I kind of got inspired, and I decided I want to try it myself. So I joined there, and grandma was super happy, as you can imagine. That's my first stage performance, but actually my first like song that I wrote was also around that time when I was that little. But I say song in air quotes because it was like, I think it was a Backstreet Boys song that I wrote my own lyrics to, and like I called that like a song. Yeah, and I kind of like, oh, I was always interested in it. I love it. My father, my dad was also always interested in music. He actually played guitar when he was in school, but he dropped it at one point, like to start working, probably to start grown up life, and I guess I never did. So I have that connection with my dad, with like listening to records and stuff like that. So, and he actually showed me when my parents bought me my first guitar. I don't know, it was like in 10th grade, no, ninth grade, I think, and he showed me the first chords that I ever learned. So yeah, it's always been there, I guess.
Okay, and was your dad an inspiration in terms of the kind of music that you make today, or how did you get into that kind of like emo pop rock style that you have today?
I guess partly, yeah, because he's always listened to like kind of a lot of styles of music, Sting, like Rammstein, and also some like a lot of rock stuff. And I remember he had a Green Day Warning CD, and I guess that's where punk rock started for me, to be honest. Like Warning is not the most punk rockest of Green Day albums. It's already like Americana, like already like bordering on Tom Petty stuff. But yeah, that's where it kind of started to me. And then Warning is 2000s, and then I kind of like really got into Green Day and went kind of backwards in time to like check out their discography, and kind of, yeah, that's where it started. But I've always like gravitated towards it. I guess the animalistic immediate emotion that it gives, at least to me, and I know a lot of people that are the same, it like can't be matched for me with any other style at the moment. Although I listen to tons of stuff, hip hop, pop music. I had an Ariana Grande phase a couple of years ago where I thought that's just literally the coolest production ever. And yeah.
Awesome. So a lot of influences, definitely. I've also seen a lot of people online, both Eurovision fans, but also just people enjoying your music in general, comparing you to Machine Gun Kelly. How do you feel about that comparison? Is that something that you think is cool?
I mean, I like Machine Gun Kelly. I like this hip hop stuff, and I do enjoy the punk rock stuff. Of course, it's kind of funny that I get compared like I'm copying MGK when I'm literally returning to what I did like 10 years ago at least. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I respect and like that music, and that's a good comparison. I mean, it's literally because of this. If it was like, if I was not blonde, and last year I had zero idea that I guess he had like a jumpsuit stage like attire phase. I had no idea. Last year I wanted a simple, quick uniform type stage outfit, and I immediately thought, okay, I'm gonna get a Dickies jumpsuit. I got that, and that was the nucleus for the stage style. And yeah, so it was a coincidence.
Sometimes those kinds of comparisons just come out of nowhere, but I mean, I'm sure it's not too bad.
I've been getting it a lot, but it's fine. If I'm remembered, I'm actually like kind of ignoring it, hoping that it might actually escalate to the point where I get a shout out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe
use it to your advantage. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Something I've also noticed when looking a bit into your stuff is that you seem to use TikTok a lot to also get out and let your fans be part of the process when you make music. Is that an important tool for you in terms of like reaching both your current audience but also a new audience?
I would say it's a mandatory tool now, and you say a lot, but I'm so bad at it. I've like my manager and the label people. I'm signed to Warner Music Baltics. I get almost daily reminders like post something, you mother, like because I'm so slow at it. But yeah, I'd say nowadays it's mandatory. It can like make or break your career, and it's actually mandatory even for like bigger, like actually established worldwide artists. Like there was a while ago, like Halsey, I think, like there was a whole thing where she was like kind of enraged and posting about being enraged that her label isn't letting her release a song like unless it gets like that much attention on socials before release. And I love Lucas Gray. No, it's not Lucas Graham. I forget his name. I'm sorry, but there's an absolutely hilarious songwriter who posts these very relatable TikToks about how he's also bad at doing this TikTok thing and like how draining it is.
Mm.
Because unless you have that influencer gene, and unless it's your second nature, it's like a job you have to do, and you know it takes time.
Absolutely. There's a, being a content creator is a whole different thing to being a musician, I can imagine. But where do you feel like you stand? Do you enjoy making that kind of content, or is it something you feel like, you want to make your label happy, you want to use it to your advantage?
Oh, no. You know, when it pays off, it's the best feeling ever when something takes off. But when you spend like 4 hours on something and it fizzles, that's the worst feeling
Yeah.
again. So it's ups and downs all the time. But I get it. It's like it's an immediate connection to existing and potential fans, and that is amazing to have what we have nowadays. This platform. There are people who like it's literally a make or break thing at this point. So I understand it, and I like when I have like good ideas of things to put there, I really enjoy it. There have been times where you just like push something out, but I guess that's true for all content creators. You can't be inspired all the time. It's just physically impossible.
Absolutely.
So there are times when you push things out and you like kind of go through the motions, and there are times when you're really inspired and then you do something you would do it anyway,
I think
whether
that's
it's successful or not.
Yeah, I think that's very natural for the life of content creators. Is something I've definitely experienced as well. Going a little bit back
Mm-hmm.
here to Supernova and to Eurovision itself, what do you think it would mean to you if you were to win this year and get the ticket to Eurovision in Liverpool?
I haven't even thought that far ahead. Like it would be amazing. Going to Liverpool and playing Fake Love for so many people and getting that message across would be an amazing gift to receive and a huge responsibility, like to represent Latvia and this genre. And yeah, it would be the coolest thing ever.
Absolutely, I can imagine. And what do you think a platform like Eurovision, but also definitely Supernova, what do you think a platform like that can do for a musician like yourself? You have maybe not the typical Eurovision style of music, but what does it mean to get to be on national television and perform your music like this?
Mhm. Oh, it's an instant like listener boost, and you can like grab many new listeners that haven't heard about you and wouldn't have heard about you possibly without it. So it's a great platform, even if you like even if you like don't win, or you don't even have to place that high to get that exposure. Like exposure for artists and content creators is like a funny thing, like being paid in exposure. But yeah, my rent costs 2.5 exposures this month. But yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is, the key is to perform well, to not like fail. Because if you go on that platform again, you're representing, and if you like fail, then you get like a negative effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always a gamble, but I think everybody who gets to that point, like at least most, like do not fail because they're professionals. So it's a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you must have done something right since Latvian TV has decided to invite you back this year. Something must have gone pretty okay last year, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Probably, hopefully.
Yeah. I think so, at least. But regardless if you win or not, what are some of the things that you hope to do in the future? What are some of the plans you have maybe after Supernova, if you have something in the pipeline already?
Well, working on new music, on next singles. Can't really decide if I'm going to release an album or not, because I feel it's still a single economy for me. But I plan to play as many shows this summer and autumn as possible. So because yeah, again, I'm saying it the second time for our conversation, I live for that. It's the live show thing is what where it's at for me, that I enjoy the most. So festivals, club gigs and stuff like that is what I'm going to be doing this summer as much as possible.
Yeah, getting out there and reaching out to people, and maybe you'll reach a new audience this year who will discover you through Supernova and see you in concert later this year. I think that would be great.
That's the plan.
Exactly. I think those are actually all the questions I have. If people want to follow you to see what you're up to, follow your preparation and stuff, where can they find you on the different social medias?
Well, you can start by going to Instagram. I'm at RAUMtastic. I'm pretty active there. At least I try to be. I'm on TikTok, same handle at RAUMtastic, and listen to my stuff on Spotify and YouTube. You can find it there
Definitely.
easily.
Yes, and I will leave some links in the description as well for people who want to check out what you're doing. Raum, thank you so much for taking your time and talking to me today. It's been a lot of fun, and I think you have a lot of really interesting things and interesting thoughts. Good luck in Supernova. Hope that you're doing well.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. Thanks,
Yeah, you
Nicholas.
too. Remember, of course, to watch the Latvian selection Supernova. The semi-finals are this Saturday, and if you are in Latvia, give Fake Love a vote if you enjoy it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, because I feel like I never really talk about my personal opinions on this channel. But I do really love this song. It is absolutely one of my favorites of the national final season so far, and I'm so excited to see how it's going to be looking on the stage. I hope you enjoyed this little interview that I did with Raum. Like I said, it was so much fun to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the Neon Pavilion if you're new here and want to see more of this content. And I think that's all I have today, so I'll hopefully see you guys very soon.